Good day, grade 9 students. Our lesson for today is translating into variation statement a relationship between two quantities given by a table of values and a mathematical equation. So, given a table of values, we can have a variation. Given a mathematical equation, we can have a variation. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so given this table, we have number of boxes sold represented by X. Number of boxes sold. And profit represented by Y. So, number of boxes sold. If sold 20 boxes, a person will get 108 units of profit. Kung ano man denomination or currency ang ginagamit dito. So, 108. If he sold 12 boxes. If he sold 15 boxes, kikita siya ng 135. If he sold 20 boxes, kikita siya ng 180. At 21 boxes, 189. So, ano mapapansin nyo sa flow ng numbers or ng values? So, yung X, increasing, pataas. Ganon din yung Y, profit, increasing din. So, kung parehas increasing yan, pwede nating sabihin direct variation yan. Pero, you have to consider also the constant of variation. So, dapat may constant of variation yan bago yan maging direct variation. So, alam na natin parehas silang increasing. So, possible direct variation. So, paano mo mapoprove na direct variation to? So, dapat may constant of variation. So, ang constant of variation niya ay ratio of y is to x. So, ito na yun. So, the constant of variation is the ratio of 108 over 12. So, susolve mo yon, it's 9. 135 over 15, 9 din. 180 over 20, 9. And 189 over 21, 9 din. So, yung ratio nila, yung y over x or y divided by x, pare-parehas. So, automatic, sure na natin na itong table na to ay direct variation. So, how do we translate this into words? So, in words, we have, or in statement, the profit varies directly as the number of boxes sold. Ito na yung tinutukoy dito sa table. Yung profit natin, yung letter Y, at yung number of boxes natin, yung letter X. Okay, pag pinalitan natin yung mga words na yon ng Y tsaka X, ito na siya. Y varies directly as X. So, para mas mapaikli yung statement natin or phrase natin. Okay, so Y varies directly as X. Profit Y, number of boxes sold X. Okay? So, paano kung may pinapahanap? How much profit will the seller get if he sold 30 boxes? So, wala sa table dito yung 30. 21 na yung pinamataas. So, ano daw yung profit niya kapag 30? Next dito, 30. So, isosolve natin yung Y given X. 30 boxes. So, ito ay X, given X. So, gagamit tayo ng equation. So, kapag direct variation, Y is equal to K times X. Kapag direct, product of the constant and the other quantity. Okay, ito yung constant natin times the other quantity which is x. So, this is our direct variation. So, isa-substitute natin yung 9 sa k. So, magiging y is equal to 9x. Kx yan, naging 9 yung k. Okay, so ang tawag dito ay equation of variation. So, ito na yung ginagamit natin, yung equation of variation to solve for the missing value. So, ano ba yung nawawalang value? Yung profit. Okay, so substitute natin dito sa x yung given na 30 boxes. Kasi, ang boxes sold ay x. So, isa-substitute natin dito sa x. Substitute natin, so naging y is equal to 9 times 30. So, solve mo yan. So, y is equal to 170 units. Ito yun po yung kinita niya. So, kung anumang currency ang ginamit dyan, so kung sa Philippines yan, pesos, 270 pesos. Pero since wala namang units na nilagay, 270 units na lang. Mas safe ito. So, ito po yung kinita niya, 270 units. Okay, so given this table, number of parcels delivered in an hour represented by X, and the number of hours spent delivering all 180 parcels. So, meron daw silang i-deliver na 180 parcels. Yung number ng oras na yon na spent ay represented by Y. Okay. So, kung tigsa 10 daw, bawat deliver, tigsa 10, isang deliver nila, 1 hour deliver, 10. Matatapos nila yung 180 parcels ng 18 hours. Kung 12 parcels per hour, matatapos nila yung 180 sa 15 hours. Kasi kailangan nilang ubusin to. Kung 18 parcels per hour, ang bawat deliver nila, 10 hours, tapos na nila yung 180 parcels. So, kung 20 parcels per hour, ang i-deliver nila, 9 hours lang, tapos na itong 180 parcels. Okay, so ano mapapansin nyo? Habang tumataas yung number of parcels delivered in an hour, bumababa naman yung number of hours spent delivering all 180 parcels. 18, 15, 10, 9. So, tumataas ito, bumababa ito. So, opposite direction sila, increasing and decreasing. So, if you have two quantities na opposite ang flow ng kanilang values, increasing yung isa, decreasing yung isa, that is inverse variation. Okay, so how do we know that this table represents an inverse variation? Paano mo mapapatunayan? Siyempre, meron siyang constant of variation. So, kanina sa direct variation, nag-divide tayo. Dinivide natin yung y by x. Paano naman pag inverse? Divide din ba? So, anong gagawin natin? So, multiply naman pag inverse. We will multiply x times y or y times x. So, 18 times 10, 180. 15 times 12, 180. 10 times 18, 180. And 9 times 12, 180. So, lahat yan 180. Therefore, meron tayong constant of variation. Okay. So, dito sa constant of variation na to, minultiply natin. Kanina sa direct divide. So, pag multiply, inverse po yun. So, paano natin ita-translate into words? So, in words, the number of hours spent delivering all 180 parcels varies inversely as the number of parcels delivered in an hour. Okay, so ito po yung statement natin based dito sa table na to. Okay, using the variable y and x, it becomes y. So this is the number of hours spent delivering all 180 parcels. That's y. Varies inversely, ito po yun, as the number of parcels delivered in an hour, that's x. So it's simply y varies inversely as x because we are using the variable y and x. So again, these two variables can be replaced by any variable from A to Z. Nagkataon lang, yan ang ginagamit sa math, x and y. Okay, so using this, pwede tayong makahanap ng missing. So how many hours spent in delivering all 180 parcels if 36 parcels will be delivered in an hour? So if pag bawat oras daw 36 parcels, ilang oras nila matatapos itong 180 parcels? Okay, syempre gagamit tayo ng equation of variation, katulad sa direct variation. Pero dito sa inverse, anong equation natin? So, ang equation natin ay y is equal to k over x. So, naging over na siya kanina, k times x. Pag direct, times. Pag inverse, over. So, k over x. Or divide. Pag over kasi divide yan. So, k divided by x. So, we will substitute our k here as 180. So, it becomes y is equal to 180 over x or 180 divided by x. So, ito na yung tinatawag nating equation of variation. So, gagamitin natin tong equation of variation to solve this problem. ilang oras ba natin matatapos yung 180 parcels kapag bawat oras 36 parcels ang i-deliver natin. So maramihan kaysa yung konti lang, matatagal matapos. So kung maramihan na to, mapapabilis ang tapos. Okay, so substitute natin to, yung 36 parcels will be delivered in an hour is 180 divided by 36. And that is equivalent to 5 hours. So your number of hours spending in delivering all 180 parcels, it's 5 hours. If you deliver 36 per hour. So, bawat oras, 36 ang i-deliver nyo. Maramihan per hour. Okay. So, this is inverse variation. Next. So, the two other variations are joint variations. So, pag sinabi nating joint, parang direct din yan, which is just like a direct variation. But it involves two or more variations. So, from direct variation, dagdagan nyo ng isa pang quantity uh, na i-compare sa other two quantities. Joint variation na yun. So, pero dapat product lahat. Multiply lahat yan. So, y is equal to k times x times z. So, sa direct, k times x lang. Pero dito, nadagdagan na ng letter z. Ibig sabihin, another quantity ang nag-join. Kaya siya tinawag na joint. Parang may nag-join na isa pang variable. So, sa direct variation, y is equal to kx. Ito pong ating equation. Tapos, pag ginawa nating joint, dagdagan lang natin ng isa pang letter. Y is equal to k, x, z. Okay, so ang basa dito, y varies jointly as the other two variables as x and z. So, naging varies jointly na yan. Pero pwede ring varies directly. Pero mas prefer na jointly na siya kasi more than one variable na to. 2 or more na to eh. So, this is 2. Pwede pang dagdagan na isa, magiging 3. So, 2 or more, jointly na siya. Okay, paano naman po yung combined variation? Ito yung pang-apat. Where there is a combination of direct and inverse variation. So, y is equal to kx over z. Ito po yung equation niya. So, paano na-generate tong equation na to? So, from combined variation, kailangan mo ng direct variation. So, ang direct variation natin ay y is equal to kx or y is equal to k times x. Sa inverse naman, y is equal to k divided by z or k over z. Bakit hindi na x? Kasi may x na tayo dito. So, iba naman. Ibang quantity naman sa inverse variation. So, if we combine these two, magiging ganito na siya. Y is equal to kx over z. Ito yung direct. Y is equal to kx. Takpan mo lang ito. Ayan. Y is equal to kx. Tapos, itong inverse, ito. Takpan mo lang yung x. Ayan. So, y is equal to k over x. So, parang nag-combine lang sila. So, paano to basahin yung equation na to? Okay. So, ang basa dyan ay y varies directly as x. So, dito direct siya kasi multiply. K times x. And inverse as z. So, pag inverse, over or divide. So, kaya po naka-over yung z dito. So, that's inversely as z. So, that's how we translate this equation into statement. Okay. But still, we use variables. Okay. Next. Okay, another example of joint variation is volume of the rectangular prism. So, kanina, it involves two variables. So, pwede ring 3 variables. Katulad nito. So, the volume is equal to LWH. So, this is in 3 variables. It involves 3 variables. The volume varies jointly as L, W, and H. So, tatlong variable na to kasi 2 or more eh. Kanina, X and Z lang, dalawa. So, dito, varies jointly na siya sa tatlo. As long as multiplication yung tatlo na yan. Joint variation pa rin yan. Okay, so this is joint variation in statement. Volume V varies jointly as the length L with W and height H. Ba't nawala yung K? So, ang K nyo dyan, automatic 1. Hindi na sinulat yung K. So, meron tayong K dyan as 1. Okay, so huwag kayo malito na wala yung K. Okay, pag walang K, automatic 1 na yon. Okay, so let's answer some of the questions. If y varies directly as x. So, ito ay direct variation. So, y is equal to kx ito. And y is equal to 32 when x is 4. Find the constant of variation. So, paano ba kunin yung constant of variation pag direct? I-divide lang natin yung y kay x. So, 32 divided by 4, it's 8. Okay, so the answer is 8. Next, what happens to t when h is doubled? In the equation, t is equal to 4h. So, doblein daw natin tong letter h. Pag dinoble natin to, magiging 2h. So, 4 times 2h, magiging 8h. So, kung 8h na to, ikumpara mo sa 4h, ano nangyari kay 4h na naging 8h? Na doble din. So, ito po yung sagot, na doble din siya. So, t is doubled also. Na doble din kasi naging 8h nung ginawa natin tong 2h. Okay, next. Which statement of variation describes the table of values below? So, mapapansin nyo dito yung x, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, increasing. Dito, decreasing. So, ano ba yung opposite? Increasing yung isa, decreasing yung isa. Siyempre, inverse yon pag opposite. So, wala na tong direct. Wala na rin tong joint. Ito, combination naman. So possible, it's letter C. Y varies inversely as X. So, paano natin mapapatunayan na inverse nga siya? Tingnan mo yung constant of variation. Ano yung constant of variation? Product nila. Pare-parehas ba? So, this is 48, 48, 48, 48, 48. Pag tinimes yung dalawa, 48. Pare-parehas. So, tama. Y varies inversely as X. Okay, so dun mo masusure na inverse variation yan. If ang product nila ay constant sa inverse. Okay? Next question. Which variation statement applies to y is equal to 8xz? So, parang itong letter 8, letter 8. Number 8 ay k lang yan, letter k. So, ito ay, it involves two variables na product lang naman yan, 8 times x times z. So, ito po ay joint variation. So, meron ba tayong joint dito? Inversely, hindi na. Directly as x and z, pwede to. Kasi ang joint natin ay direct din. Varies inversely, hindi na to kasi wala namang over dyan. Okay, varies inversely din. So, alam na natin na hindi A, C, at D kasi may mga inversely. Kailan ba nagkakaroon ng inversely? Kapag may over. Okay, wala naman. So, ito lang yun, letter B. Y varies jointly dapat. Pero pwede rin namang directly. Pero mas prefer dyan ay jointly. So, Y varies directly as X and Z. So, pwede din yan. Parang nilito lang kayo ng konti. Pero that's jointly. Okay, which of the following equation is an example of combined variation? Combined means merong direct at merong inverse. So, itong letter A, matik na to na inverse lang. Kasi ito, letter K, K over X lang yan. So, inverse lang yan. So, wala na yan. Letter B, 100, 1,000 over X. Ano, ito, K din to. Letter K. So, inverse lang rin to. Over lang yan. So, letter C, Y is equal to 3Z over X. So, ang K natin, 3. Ta-times sa Z. So, ito ay direct. 3 times Z. Tapos, inverse pa siya sa X. So, it's a combination of direct and inverse. So, ito po yung letter C. Itong letter D, it's inverse lang. Ito yung constant mo, letter K, 6 over 12 or 1 half, pag nilowest term mo yan. So, 1 half over X. So, it's just K over X. So, inverse din to. Okay, so, dun yung malalaman kung paano yan naging combine. Letter C. Okay, that's all. I hope you learned something new today. At panoorin nyo lang panoorin yung video para ma-master nyo yung concept na tinuro ko dito sa video na to. At syempre, prepare for a quiz about the 3 video lessons that I posted in the Google Classroom. Okay, that's all. Goodbye, class.